Listen, mate, it's none of my business, but if you've got any gear in there, I'd get in and get it out before she bloody well flogs that on you two.
Look, nothing's been flogged, and bloody hell, you're trespassing.
I don't think so, mate. This is number 37 Patterson Street, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's number 35, and that's number 39,
yeah,
right?
right, but I don't think that's got anything...
I've got instructions to get these 3 joints ready for demolition. They're going to build flats here, mate, so you'd better get down and make up with your Mrs. Mighty quick.
Look, there's nothing to make up because we haven't had a blow.
Yeah? Well, I reckon you're going to be having one then, palsy, because the mob that I contract for reckon they got a verbal agreement out of it this morning. Still, if you've got your roller skates on, you might be able to get down there before the little woman signs on the dotted line, eh?
Right, well, that's what I'm going to do then. And before she does sign on the dotted line, get all this bloody gear and get it off my land.
We better do what he says, fellas, just in case. I'll better go and ring in. Hey, listen, 1 line each, fix up the joint on either side. Come on.
Well, how's it going in there?
It's hard to say. Mrs. Davidson told me to go back to the laundry, so I suppose they're making their decision now.
Well, not without me, they're not. I've got to get my 2 cents worth in.
Mr. Reed.
Yes, Kerry?
Mr. Reed, look, if they do give me my parole, one of the conditions will be that I won't be able to associate with David Austin.
Oh, yes, that's quite on the cards. After what he's been up to, you could hardly expect them to turn you over to his care and protection, now, could you? Does that worry you?
A bit, yeah.
Why?
Well, you know, he's the only person I know on the outside. There's no one else. I guess after so long in prison, I'm a bit,
Scared?
Yeah, scared.
Well, there's really nothing to be scared of. Once you get settled into your studio and start showing a few paintings, you'll have lots of new friends flocking around you. Mind you, if you get really desperate, don't forget there are plenty of social workers. However, first things first, we've got to get you out of here. Meantime, you'd better go back to the laundry and keep your chin up, huh?
Yeah, I'd say. What's the word? Patience. Good luck. Thanks.
Mrs. Jackson, look, I've got to see Doreen. It's terribly important.
Well, what is it this time, Mr. Burns? More brandy?
What?
We view your actions most seriously.
What actions? I just got here.
Oh, come on. Did you honestly think she'd get it past
Guess
us?
what? Mrs. Jackson, I don't understand what's going on, but I've got to see Doreen. It's terribly important.
Well, I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, your wife's in solitary confinement for 2 days, and all her privileges, including her visits from her husband, have been cancelled.
Yeah, but this is
I'm sorry, Mr. Burns. You cannot see your wife.
And that's the truth, Mrs. Jackson, honest. Look, I don't know anything about any booze.
Well, she got it from somewhere, and she tried to get it past us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that bothers me, too. I mean, I can't understand why Doreen would be so stupid. Why take the risk?
Well, whether it bothers you or not,
yeah,
you don't
all right,
have...
I know. We don't have any proof.
Correct.
Fine.
And that leaves us right back where we started.
OK, right. Would you talk to Mrs. Davidson about
Mrs. Davidson would need proof as well.
Can I talk to B. Smith?
Yes, I suppose that'd be all right. But you'll have to submit to a full body search.
What?
Mr. Burns, we still don't have proof that you didn't bring the brandy
OK, let's just
in.
get on with it, shall we?
Wendy, would you contact Mr. Fletcher, please, and get him down here as soon as possible?
They're what?
Yeah, they're going to knock the whole bloody place down to make way with some flats.
Well, they must have offered her one hell of a price for the house then. The last I heard, you were determined not to sell.
That's what I thought. B, we've got to get a message.
No whispering, please.
Oh, look, come on, Mr. Fletcher. Can't you see this poor boy's beside himself, not knowing what's going on?
Yes, I can see that, but I'm
He
afraid...
can't do anything until he's talked to Doreen.
I'm sorry, Smith, but you know the rules.
Well, couldn't we bend the rules just a little bit? At least get a message to Doreen, let her know what's happening with the house and find out what she wants Kevin to do. Well, that's all you want, isn't it, Kevin?
Yes.
Look, Smith, Doreen's in solitary. There'll be no communication with her until she's released.
Yeah, well, that could be too late, Mr. Fletcher.
Yes, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, he's right. There's nothing anyone can do, not while she's in the pound. Shut off. Hey, gather round, girls. We've got a problem.
Is it about Dor?
Doreen and Kevin and some creeps were trying to bulldoze their house.
What creeps?
As far as I can make out, no one knows except Doreen.
You mean Dor knows?
Seems she got word out she wants to sell.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. There's something about this whole setup that stinks. There's no way known she'd sell that place, not at any price.
Unless someone's putting the pressure on.
Oh, very good. Go to the top of the class.
Sorry.
Of course someone's putting pressure on. Question is who? And how's she getting word out of solitary?
I'll tell you something that does make sense.
What?
That grog the Dor got busted with. She wouldn't have been so careless.
Yeah, you reckon someone planted it on her?
I'll bet my pension for the next 10 years somebody wants her out of the way.
Yeah, and they've succeeded. What we have to do is open up lines of communication between Doreen and Kevin.
Oh, that's not going to be easy, Pete. That bagpipe-blowing heathen, he's got all the gates locked.
Well, there must be a way. If Doreen's getting word out...
I could do it.
Oh, no, forget it, Helen.
Oh, what's the matter? You don't trust me?
Was there any reason why I should?
Is there any reason why you shouldn't?
I reckon you'll have to be, because she's the only one who can get into that area.
And don't forget, Madam Schmidt, they're letting me out of here tomorrow. No problems for me to get in touch with Kevin, pass on the information to Doreen.
All right, so you can get in touch with Kevin when you get out. But how are you going to get a message through to Doreen first?
You write a note. Let me worry about getting it to her.
Okay? But you get this, and you get it good. You foul things up, and you've had it.
The camels are coming. There's gonna be war.
Come on, we've got things to do.
Yeah, be right there. Who's that? Who? That screw. Him. He's the bagpipe-blowing heathen Lizzie's always on about.
His name's Stewart, Jock Stewart.
Yeah, you know him?
Not personally, but I've seen him round the traps and I know some of the girls he trades with. Bagpipe-blowing heathen, eh? Yeah, well, the heathen bit's a fair comment.
What do you mean?
He's an animal. The girls call him the Highland Flinger.
Why?
Because that's how he gets his kicks. Flinging his fists about at him.
You mean he beats up on them?
Does he ever?
Oh, no, let him.
Well, of course they do. That's what he pays for, and big money.
Oh, that's vile.
Oh, it's not that bad. There's always one of the guys around to make sure he doesn't go too far. But I thought he was at Pentridge.
Yeah, he was.
That's enough for you two.
Oh, Mrs. Jackson, I didn't see you there.
Obviously. Now, you two aren't out of here yet. And any more talk like that could end you up in hot water.
Oh, what's the point? You lot wouldn't believe one of us anyway.
And what is there to believe? Do you want us to take action on the strength of every smutty rumour we hear against the staff of this prison? Now, you get back to the dining room.
Okay if I go to the toilet and wash up first?
Will you make it quick?
You can forget about lunch, Vincent. Just get back to your cell and pack up your things. Your parole's just come through.
Hi, Dory.
No talking, huh?
Oh, now look what you made me do.
I made you do.
Yes, you got me in a dither with all that talk about getting myself into hot water. Oh, thank God I'll be out of here tomorrow. Get out of this place and talk to some civilised people.
Well, never mind about that. Just clean up the mess and get back to the dining room for another tray.
Oh, yes, and Mrs. Jackson. There we are, Miss Jackson, all cleaned up. Well, the big bits anyway. You want me to get a mop?
No, thank you. Sorry about your lunch, Doreen. We'll be back in a minute.
Hello.
Oh, it's you.
That little matter this morning.
What little matter was that?
You know, the one with Doreen Anderson.
You call that little. I'd be more inclined to call it gross.
Yeah, well, have you reported it yet?
No, not yet.
I see.
Do you, Mr. Stewart? And what exactly do you see?
That I've acted very, very foolishly. But you must understand, Miss Bennett. All my years in prison, I've been dealing with male prisoners. Men I can handle, but with women, well, I'm afraid I'm just a bit of a soft touch.
And I'm afraid I can't understand that. Prisoners are prisoners and should be treated as such. You'd do well to keep that in mind.
Well, as usual, Miss Bennett, you're absolutely right. Are you going to report it?
I'm thinking of it.
Well, then perhaps a drink after work might help you decide in my favor. How about it?
Staff room. Speaking. Oh, is she? Right, I'll be right there. You'll have to excuse me. I'm wanted in reception. Release procedure. One of our charges, Kerry Vincent, is being released.
Yes, I know. I had the pleasure of telling her that just a few moments ago myself.
A pleasure, Mr. Stewart. My, you are a soft touch, aren't you?
I'll keep that invitation open.